My friend, ask away.
Okay, Belou. Well, thank you very much for hosting me and showing your kind generosity, for finding me. There I was in the cafeteria, and you've given me some fantastic food, and
thank you so much.
coming here and meeting your Muslim family.
Alhamdulillah, yeah. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. We always say we try to kind of relate everything back to, the all-seeing, all-knowing Creator. So.
And I'm sure we're going to, after I leave this place, we're going to meet in the future at some stage, and I would like to do that in terms of the environment and how I feel you can change the environment yourself, maybe your local environment, and what personal beliefs that you may have that could contribute to sustainability.
I think it's a deep question, and there's many responses that you can give but there's no, I think, one right answer. I mean, there's a general view of where things should be going, but at the same time, I think what you was coming with, such as permaculture and things like this, is very interesting. What you've told me, and from the short space of time that you've talked to me about permaculture, in a way, you convinced me, that it is a right, way to go, because you gave me solutions. We have a problem here with the land. It's not fertile. We have water, irrigation issues, there's no rain at the moment in Morocco. It hasn't rained for quite a while. It rained yesterday, but it was a very light rain. It wasn't that, that strong, and so a lot of the crops, I think to be honest with you, we need irrigation or possible ways in order to irrigate our plants. And permaculture could be a solution. It could be a very good solution, because, as you were saying, you was describing that method earlier about bringing some kind of plants that have roots deep embedded into the ground that can possibly draw water out from deep within the ground and bring it more slightly to the surface. Yeah. This is a feasible, scientific and feasible kind of way to do it.
Yeah.
I think what you was drawing on as well, Islamically, would it be acceptable? I think because, Islamically, as long as it doesn't contradict what we believe in or our beliefs, it's okay. It's totally fine. And from what I can see here, from the short, the short kind of, I wouldn't say thorough knowledge I've acquired here, I think that it could be a possibility for the future.
There's an interesting point, which has come onto the news in recent months, and it's to do with the piles of rubbish and junk that are piling up on the beaches of Lebanon, and in particular in the streets of Lebanon. And there was a big campaign against the government there, because a lot of it's, I know Lebanon's a mixed country that's full of Christians,
that's right,
and various degrees of Christianity and Islam. There, I think there was about 18 different types of religion there when I visited, and I got first-hand experience of that junk, and I saw many Muslim families go to the beach, have something to eat, and then just leave bags of rubbish, junk, on the sand. Yeah, and then what would happen later? A bulldozer would come along and bulldoze it, and there was mountains of it actually at one end somewhere.
Things like this upset me, Things like, but it's due. You see, the thing is, we can't blame a religion, we can't blame a people, we can't. The issue here is not, it's ignorance. It's literally just people being ignorant or people being uneducated in and not aware sometimes not aware. And this is the issue. It's nothing to do with religion at all. Actually, it's something completely different. I mean, beliefs, and the guy, whether or not he's throwing away, maybe he doesn't have knowledge in his own religion, because his own religion doesn't preach this. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was part of an organization that used to clear the rubbish and things that were left, by people. So he was actually part of like how would you say, like
is that something written in the Quran or in the?
No, this is in the Hadith and the Sunnah.
The Hadith, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like, you know, people's observations of what he does and things like that. But this, as I said before, I don't want to comment from an Islamic point of view because I'm not learned enough to express the Islamic point of view fully. I don't think I can do it justice. So this is why I'm saying to you, it has nothing to do with culture. It's more education. I think that, you know, let's avoid the problem for now and try to come to a solution, right? Because at the end of the day, we can start complaining about, oh, this person left that, you know. But the point is, we need to educate the people.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Because I know in any country you're going to get people from all different types of backgrounds. Yeah. So could you work as a? I know I'm coming back to the point that you've been a Muslim, but could you work with Christians in cleaning up the environment?
Of course I can. Yeah.
This is because it wouldn't matter whether that person was.
The goal is the same. To clear the rubbish, right? Yeah. The goal is the same. So why would I have an issue with this?
Yeah.
I would work with a Jew, with a Christian, with a Hindu, with a Buddhist. Yeah. Anyone of any faith. If he's on a good path, if he seems to be doing what is correct, which is, you know, clearing rubbish is correct, it's the right way to do things, you know, why not? Why would I not help him?
It's an interesting one. Do you get many people here protesting against, say, supermarkets, pre-packaged food, you know, all that packaging and transportation, and that they've changed the economy to such a degree that maybe they've taken it away from the spiritual outlook that people would normally have if it wasn't for this materialistic culture that was going on?
The materialistic culture, I think, is widespread around the globe. So no matter how much we try and combat that, you know, industrialism and, you know, people kind of trying to be rich and be millionaires, this is never going to stop. You know, this is hayat ad-dunya. This is, you know, this is the world of the dunya. So
what does that mean?
Hayat dunya is like a temporary word. It's like, you know, a world in which we're living here in this small time frame, right? And after this, we're gonna go. And where we go, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. So this is just a test for us.
But that's what you were saying about earlier, about how the family. What you do it for the family, and it's extended, and then you see your family as an extension back to someone who was noble and who was blessed by God.
Yeah, I mean, blessed by God. I think we're all blessed by God in our own way. And we have issues in our lives. You know, everyone has issues in their lives regarding, I don't know, someone can't get married, for example. Someone doesn't have enough money to pay his mortgage off. Someone doesn't have enough money, you know, so mainly, but nowadays I can see there's like a trend, an ongoing trend where people are more materialistic in thinking, as in, if they're not a millionaire, they're not happy, they're not satisfied. It's like, you know, you have to be a millionaire or you have to be someone very wealthy in order to be satisfied. I think this is what you need to educate people, that it's not about that. It's about the contribution you do, what you give back to your community, what you could be a Jewish person, you could be a Christian person, a Buddhist, anyone of this kind of religion or religious background, religious beliefs. It doesn't have anything to do with him being someone part of humanity. Sorry, I didn't phrase that quite correctly, but it has nothing to do with him being, in a way, your brother or your sister. You know, it has. I mean, the relationship.
You think what you're saying is it should be like selfless?
No, what do you mean selfless?
Where you just act out of responsibility, say, for instance.
Yes, I think you should be responsible. I think it's our duty as human beings to be responsible. I mean, Islamically as well, this is some of the main teaching. You have to be a responsible person. You have to try and do best by the people around you or under you, under your protection or under your, you know, for example, a king. You know, he has to do the best stand by his people. You know, make sure his people are well fed, well dressed. they're working, they're doing, you know what I mean? So just like that, you have to be responsible with your own family members. Fulfill their rights. Fulfill your sister's rights. Fulfill your brother's rights. Fulfill, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of corruption going on in the world at the moment.
But I do like your angle, because I still believe that your angle is very spiritual.
Yeah.
In the way you perceive things. But it's, do you remember when we first came here, we was talking to those farmers?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Now, and I said to you afterwards, if I was a Muslim, or if I was someone who lived in the area, would they have listened to me more intently or taken my advice, rather than opposing, in their own way, opposing everything I said? Oh, we've tried that method, it doesn't work. Oh, we've tried that method, it doesn't work. You know, that stubbornness.
I think this is part of the ignorance that you have to try and remove. I think everyone's guilty to a certain degree, being ignorant in their own way, right? Some people are ignorant to certain things. You know, they might not have as much knowledge as you or whatnot, so they possibly have tried, or within themselves they believe they've tried the best they can. And they can't see any other alternatives, so they're just, you know, they're just kind of happy with what they have so far. You know, this is another angle as well. I don't know if you can kind of see where I'm coming from, but for example, you are at the moment, how can I say, you know when your mind goes blank, yeah? Because I know I'm being videoed here. I know I'm being videoed and I'm just like a bit apprehensive, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
So if you repeat the question, so your question exactly was...
whether my views would have been accepted had I been someone living here or been a Muslim from another country.
It has nothing to do with you being a Muslim or not. I can guarantee that, you know, 100%. You coming with some kind of proof to the people, you know, if you were to, for example, say, you know, I can do this, yeah, and you prove to them, yeah, it's possible and you can do it, you know, I don't see any problem why they would reject you, or why would they because of your ethnic or spiritual background. There's no reason, because this is something you're trying to help, you're trying to benefit mankind, yeah. Why would they oppose that?
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting one. I thought they were. I thought they were very kind.
Yeah.
When I and actually, because I needed you as a translator, that could have been the real barrier that I was trying to cross.
That's exactly what.
Because I'm using a third person to try and get my points of view over to them, and so
maybe they don't respect me. You understand what I mean?
It's an interesting
maybe
one. Yeah.
Maybe, you know, they respect what you're saying, right? But they maybe don't want to take it from me, you know, because they know me.
Yeah, that's a
because, you know, when you know someone and he's your neighbor, it's not like, you see, for example, your friend tells you, mate, stop smoking, you know, yeah. But if your dad tells you stop smoking, well, I'm sorry, that's a kind of bad. But if someone, for example, you know, you respected in high regard and whatnot, told you to stop smoking, you know, it's different. You know, it's a different kind. This is a really bad
like a tutor,
point I made.
But
for example, if someone told you to stop smoking, and you say, okay, I want to stop smoking, yeah. But who are you more likely to follow? Someone in authority, or someone who seems like they're coming from a higher understanding than you, or you're going to take someone that you've known all your life, you know, and you know the extent of their knowledge, and you know how much understanding and how capable they are. You probably will disregard what they tell you, and you're more likely to follow someone you held in high regard, right? So you, just purely you coming there talking to them, automatically raises your status in their eyes. But me trying to translate, maybe they saw me as, you know, we don't want to accept advice from him. But, you know, he's the neighbour. You know, so...
I do like the wide vision that you're showing there, actually. That's quite
because the thing is, I can't get into the guy's head. I don't know what he's thinking, right? But the best way I can describe it is I try and think the best of people all the time. Because, you know, nowadays, I'm not going to... We're getting into a crisis where people start to think the worst of people. For example, you know, let's say you dropped your wallet. It's like, damn, someone's taken my wallet. You know, when you've actually just misplaced it or lost it, and then later on, the same guy that you probably thought it was him who took it, he'll probably be like, hey mate, I've just found your wallet, and just gives it back to you, right? And then, as a Muslim, this is how you have to think. Obviously, not to go as far as to be stupid. I'm not saying be stupid, you know, and kind of let things lie and whatnot. But I'm saying stand up for your rights, but at the same time, if there's something obvious where you're being taken for your rights or something's happening to you in a negative light, you should be able to stand up for your rights. But most of it, I think, is kind of... Sorry, man, my mind goes blank.
I know about that, but you know, no. It's
but there's so much I want to share with you, but you know when so many thoughts come into your head, and you're trying to like cram everything in. Yeah. So
but here's one. Okay, so, to finish off this interview, if we can call it that. Give me a solution to something that's happening in your life right now. Tell me what you want to try and achieve in the next 5 years, for instance.
Ah, yes. That brings me to my personal projects here in Morocco.
Right, okay.
So what I'm trying to do is possibly help the people around me. As in, like, you know, obviously I'm going to try and help the people around me, as in my close family relatives. Try and help them as much as I can, fulfill their rights, Islamically as well. So you have to fulfill their rights. And then obviously you've got the people, the wider community.
Yeah.
You know, the community that you live in, you have to try as well to be part of that community, to try and influence positive change. You know, so for example, someone like you, someone of your knowledge coming here with this permaculture theory or this permaculture kind of idea, you know, why should I disregard it? You know, why should I say, be ignorant to the fact that it could help my situation and be ignorant to the fact that it could help your people? So why not take advice? Why, you know what I mean? So this is the kind of view I share on this topic.
Can I be insightful here? Can I try to be intuitive? And Can I ask you something really personal? Do you think you are a leader of this society?
No, not at all. I am not a leader whatsoever.
At this moment in time, but do you want to be a leader?
No. To be honest, I think it's too much responsibility. People are coming to you with their problems, and you're like, I've got my own problems. But the thing is, you know, as I said, like, it's an obligation for you to fulfill the rights of your people around you. So it comes back to Islam again. It comes back to Islam, and it comes back to saying, you know, like, if, for example, you have a sister, right, okay, and your sister, you're the only brother, and she's not married, and she has no one to take care of her, and she's not working, right? What are you gonna do as a brother? You know, there's many. You know, I'm not gonna I wouldn't like to pinpoint Western society, because I wouldn't like to say it happens everywhere. It happens internationally. You know, this is an international phenomenon, I think. But people, they don't fulfill the rights of their closest people, their closest relatives. You know, let alone they're very, you know, they just me.
Self-indulgent.
Do you know what I mean? Self-indulgent. They're just thinking about, am I gonna be a millionaire? Am I gonna, do you know what I mean? Like, am I gonna, you know, be successful?
Be famous or whatever.
And when you ask them what success is, honestly, they can't give you a clear-cut answer, because they don't know what success is. And to me, I feel as if I'm rightly guided in regards to the religion I follow. So that gives me strength to continue. That gives me strength, and it really helps me to, how can I say, connect with people and understand that we're all God's creation at the end of the day, and we all have to try and benefit one another as mankind. And this is the ultimate goal that I have.
So, anyway,
I'm not trying to be a leader or trying to...
But I want to make the last point.
Yeah.
Before I close this.
God, the last point.
I reckon you are going to be a leader of your society. Inshallah.
But in saying inshallah, okay, if God wills.
Yeah.
If God wills, it will happen. If God doesn't will, you know, I have to play my part in society just as much. You know, I have to play my part in society just as much. But I have no excuse because in a way I am a leader. For example, I have my wife and kids. Who are you? A leader. You're leading your wife and your kids. You know, your family, your close family. So technically you are a leader. Everyone is a leader to a certain degree. You own a pet dog. You're a leader. You know, you have to fulfill the animal's rights. You have to fulfill, you know, the feed it, give it drink, nourish it. You know. So I'm just
I understand. It's a very nice point you make.
Yeah. So
give me a quote from the Quran then, just to finish.
Oh, quote from the Quran.
If you want, or from the Hadith, or just tell me a story from it. Something very short and pithy.
Something very short and you see, I wouldn't want to kind of get something wrong here.
No.
Because I'm being recorded. So I wouldn't want to give you something which is not, because I'm following at the moment. I'm trying to be the best Muslim I can. I'm learning, I'm researching, I'm understanding, but I don't know word for word things. And honestly, it's very deep. You can't get one word wrong because it's the word of God. So if I'm trying to I can quote, for example, إِلَا زُنْزِلَةُ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إِلَا زُنْزِلَةُ الْأَرْضُ زِنْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ وَقَالَهَا الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا يَوْمَئِذٍ تَحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا بأمر ربك وحالها يومئذ يصدور الناس أشتاتا ليؤروا أعمالهم فما يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يرى وما يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يرى. So basically the surah talks predominantly about the final day, you know, the day of judgment when it's all going to go down, it's happening, you know, the earth is crumbling and mankind is saying what's going on. You know, not understanding what's going on, and you know, and it really paints a vivid picture. You know, it really, and then it goes on to say, atom's weight of good in your heart will be weighed on that day, and the atom's weight of bad on that day will be weighed on the scales. So it kind of makes you think you're not just living here, you're not just living for this world. You're living for the next as well. So you have to try and be the best person you can here in order to achieve greatness in the hereafter. And that's
a very nice point. Because a lot of people who think like that we say within the environmental movement. What we do now is for our children and our children's children, you know, or for the future in which we're not going to be maybe here physically. So on that point,
we'd like to end.
That was quite beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thank you, Belou.
No, honestly, thank you.